Alright guys, story time. Today I want to talk about how me and my wife met. So, what kind of inspired me to do this one is sitting around talking with some friends a couple weeks ago, and one of them asked a question, and you know, I realized that there's no simple way for me to explain how me and my wife met without going through the whole story. So here's kind of how the story went down. So back in 2009, I was in college at ITT Tech. I think most of y'all know how I feel about that fucking place, and I was glad to see it die. But I digress. So I was a work study. That's where I got my name Otto, which eventually evolved into Otto. So anyway, I'm at work one day, and I go into the IT office, and there's this fucking penguin hand puppet, like a little kid's hand puppet, sitting in the office. Well, I'm naturally a creepy guy, so of course my very first thought was, oh, I'm gonna play with this, and I did. And trust me, this is all relevant. So I got to where I would play with this damn thing when things were slow, and especially the first couple of the weeks of the new quarter when we had new students there. I'd be at the student entrance with my puppet, and I would force people to talk to me through the puppet. Like, I would make them talk to the penguin, and the penguin would relay the information, and it'd go back the same way. You know, I'd stand there with a real blank expression on my face, and I'd have the penguin wave, and I'd give him like facial expressions and shit. It was hilarious. Well, I thought it was hilarious. Most people thought it was creepy as fuck, but you know, that's what I do. So anyway, I had my graduation, and every graduation, I had already graduated at this point, but I was working on my bachelor's degree at the time, and we worked as work studies at the graduations. So I brought the penguin with me. Now granted, the penguin was so well known, it was just kind of expected, because when I graduated, I actually walked across the stage with the penguin. Yeah, so I walked across the stage with the penguin, accepted my degree, and he took a bow on his way out. So yeah, so the penguin was well known, so it was expected he'd be there. So this was actually at a hotel conference room or like meeting center next to or attached to the local mall. So after we got everything set up and the graduation was about 30 minutes out or so, me and Skeet and Grip and a couple other people went down to the mall to get a drink. Well, as I'm coming down, I see this one guy that, and I hope he doesn't watch my, well, I'm pretty sure he doesn't watch my videos, because I'm pretty sure he still hates me, and I'll get into why here in a minute. There was this guy, we'll call him Lumpy. That was his his nickname. I see Lumpy and a guy named Buns down there. Buns was his nickname as well, standing down there talking to this chick. And I had seen this girl around school. I didn't know her name. I just referred to her as the girl with the cute butt. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna go fuck with this guy, because me and Lumpy never really got along. I always thought he was a bit of an asshole personally. He might not have been. He rubbed me the wrong way. Of course, I probably rubbed him the wrong way too, because, you know, that's me. But at any rate, I'm like, I'm gonna go fuck with this guy. So I take the penguin down there, and I pop the penguin up on his shoulder while he's talking to this girl and what I assumed was her mom. And I start like playing with his ear. And I'm only doing this for maybe 5-10 seconds, and then I just walk off. And little did I know at the time that would end up being my wife. Her and I started talking sometime later, and I don't remember exactly when it was that we started talking. It wasn't but maybe a couple of weeks. But we started talking, and we decided to hang out a couple of times. And then one day I'd had a really bad day at work, like a really bad day. And she's like, "What do you want me to come meet you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" It's like 10 o'clock at night, so we meet up in the parking lot of a Barnes & Noble or Books A Million or some shit and hang out. Well, what I didn't know was at the time she was on her way to a date with Lumpy. And so I fucked his shit up that day because we started dating like 2 days later. And just to rub it in, I mean, I'm the dick in this story. I'm fully aware of that. But to rub it in, I actually would make sure to go pick him up in my Mustang that I had. She would be out with him, like hanging out. And I'd pick her up afterward in my Mustang, and he was in his little crappy car. That's a dick move, I know. But, you know, that's just the kind of person I was at the time. So yeah, that's pretty much history, man. That's how it went. He didn't talk to me ever again. They stopped talking. He was pretty salty about it, but yeah, that's how we met. But anyway, guys, that's just a quick little story for this week. I've got plenty more if y'all want to hear them. So anyway, peace.